Hey guys, I wanted to share with you a couple of tips that I had to learn the hard way in my real estate career. And if you're a new agent or you're just thinking about getting into real estate, I really want to cover with you these top 10 things that I wish I knew before I got into real estate. Now, it wouldn't have changed my mind any. I still would have gone into real estate, though these things can make your life so much easier if you just learn from my mistakes. So, we're going to go through a couple of these with you and just share with you so that hopefully you can fail forward faster and get to the success even sooner that you are looking for in this industry. So, the first tip I want to share with you guys is that real estate is simple. This career is simple. It's not easy. And I think those two get misconstrued quite a bit. If you come into this business and you immediately start putting, certain things into place, systems into place, and you learn to do the right activities and you create processes for yourself, this career, you can systematize a lot of it. Not all of it, but you can systematize a lot of the behind the scenes stuff that will help you stay organized and will help you create just a smooth process for your career. Now, it's not an easy career. I'm going to be honest with you. This can be a very, very tough career for many, many different reasons. Just don't confuse the two, that this career is simple. It's just not easy. So don't overcomplicate it when you get into the industry. The second tip that I have for you is when you get into this industry, you really have two jobs. Not one, you have two. And really, you have a lot more than that. But we're going to simplify it to two. These two jobs, can you guess what they are? They are real estate lead generation and your real estate business. Now, why are those two separate jobs? Well, the reality is you're all getting into this industry to practice real estate, to help people, to buy and sell houses. But you don't get to do any of that if you don't generate the business to begin with. You have to come in with a mentality that you're generating leads, you are generating business, you are generating, a pipeline. And if you don't do that, you don't even get to open the doors to your other business. So an easy way to think about that is the first half of your day is lead generation, job number one. And the second half of your day is practicing real estate, showing houses, setting appointments, negotiating transactions. And in that sense, you really do have two different jobs. So just make sure you recognize you don't have one without the other, and the lead generation is really the key to getting into this business and getting it up and off the ground quickly. All right, number three is you have to have a business owner mindset. A lot of people that come into the industry have come from a W-2'd job, and they're coming into a 1099 independent contractor status. And when that occurs, there's a bit of a mental shift that has to happen. No longer do you have those consistent paychecks that come once a month or every other week. You are now on commission, 100% commission. So when that occurs, there is just this mindset shift that has to happen. You are now a business owner. You have a storefront, if you will, and when you open those doors, you have become a business owner. And don't overcomplicate this mentality. It doesn't matter if you're on a team, it doesn't matter if you're an individual agent or if you're running a team. It goes across the board. It is the same advice no matter what. You absolutely have to have a business owner mindset and be able to run as a business owner. Know your numbers. So what does a business owner even mean, right? Like, you have to know your numbers. Gross profit versus net profit. You have to know how many calls it takes to connect with someone. You have to know how many appointments it takes to typically get someone under a listing signed, or how many showings on average does it take to find the house for your buyer. These are all numbers you have to know as a business owner to help your business run and grow and scale. All right, you guys, number three, making quarterly tax payments. I know this isn't a fun topic, but tax payments, the IRS, you kind of don't want them to be mad at you. So if you don't want the IRS to be mad at you, make quarterly tax payments. When you're making a profit, you can use a tax professional to help you understand and know just how much of an estimated tax payment you need to make, and then make it. Trust me, speaking from experience, you don't want to get to the end of the year and realize that you owe $30,000 in taxes. Not fun. So take my advice. You can thank me later. Make sure to make quarterly tax payments when you get into this industry. All right, number 4. I think I'm on the right track here. Number 4 is create a schedule and stick to it. Autonomy, you guys, autonomy or freedom has killed way more real estate careers than anything else. When you get into this industry, you like freedom. If you're like me, I got in because my kids were little and I needed the freedom of being able to go home and take care of them when they were sick, or, be able to be at their sporting events. And this was something that was really important to me when I chose this career. And a lot of you may choose it for similar reasons. Though you have to understand, if you let the freedom get to you and you don't create some sort of structure within this career, it will kill your career. So the very thing that you got into the career for is the number one killer of the career. So find the balance of having enough of a structured schedule and discipline of doing the right activities that you don't become one of those statistics. The next one, number 6, have a minimum of 6 months in savings or reserves, or have a spouse or another that has another source of income, or maybe you have another source of income coming in, right? You could have passive income coming in from something else that helps alleviate the first couple of months that you are building your business. You really want to have a minimum of 6 months set aside if you can, so that you're not stressing about how are you going to pay a bill or how are you going to afford this. And there are monthly costs when you get into this industry that you get charged every single month, and you want to make sure you can pay those without being stressed about it. Nobody wants to have commission breath, right? Nobody wants to have commission breath. It is not a cool thing. Your clients want to know that you care about them, and regardless of the result of their transaction, you're looking out for their best interests. So definitely have some savings if possible, or another source of income when you come into this business. Number 7, you're going to need thick skins, my friend. A lot of thick skin. So this industry has a lot of personalities. You're dealing with a lot of different people. You have clients, you have inspectors, you have lenders, you have title companies, you have contractors. There's a lot of people involved in just one real estate transaction. And you guys, you're going to come across a lot of them in a day, right? And there's kind of a joke within the real estate industry where it's a little bit of a roller coaster ride. And 1 minute you could be on cloud 9, and 5 minutes later you could be crying because a deal might be falling apart, or some difficult circumstance happened. Well, you guys, this is going to happen in this career. It is I would say it is common that you will be dealing with personalities. Maybe you don't get along with them. I'm not saying that part is common, but maybe you don't get along with a certain personality, and you have to remain professional, and you have to look out still for the best interest of your client. So when you come into this industry, understanding that thick skin is going to be needed, you will have other people that are not professional, and you will have circumstances that really test your blood pressure sometimes. And it's your job to remain calm, cool, and collected, and handle the situation with grace, and handle the situation with professionalism, right? You also want to remember you're representing our entire industry. So when you're out there, and if you lose your cool over something, it really gives the whole industry and the whole career a bad name. So this part is really, really important to understand, and really let it sink in that the thick skin part of this, a lot of people will blow me off on this part, but when you get in, you'll understand the thick skin part is also a really important key ingredient. Okay, number 8. Self-management versus time management. You guys, there's no such thing as time management. I hate to tell you. The clock on the wall, I have the same amount of time that you have, and you have the same amount of time that I have, and we have the same amount of time that the presidents have, and world leaders, and extremely successful people. We all have the same amount of time on the clock. It isn't about time management. We can't manage the clock, right? We can't adjust it or we can't just turn it back 3 hours because we need a little extra time. It doesn't work that way. Although I wish it did sometimes. I would definitely be adding some time to the clock. But we can self-manage. Self-manage is more about putting your priorities in place, understanding and having clarity around what your targets are, what your goals are, and then choosing the activities that are going to get you there instead of the rabbit trail activities of things that get your distraction or your attention. We've all heard or seen the movie, right, where it's squirrel, squirrel, squirrel. And I am no stranger to that myself, though being able to self-manage is much more important than being able to time manage. All right, guys, number 9, your friends, they're going to use another realtor sometimes. And your feelings might get hurt. And that's part of this industry. When you walk into this industry, there is, I think, a false expectation that everyone that you know is instantaneously going to call you to sell a house or buy a house, and just because you got your real estate license. And so occasionally you're going to have a friend, maybe even a family member, that uses another real estate agent. And you, in that situation, will need to have some grace and some understanding. It's not about you. And sometimes maybe they don't realize that you got into real estate. Totally a possibility, right? If you are not doing a good job of getting the word out there of what you're doing or providing value to your community, then maybe they don't know what you're doing. But consider this. Maybe they don't want to share their financials with you, or maybe they are worried about something that is such a big dollar amount. Maybe they are afraid of ruining a relationship with you. So consider that there are other possibilities as to why, and don't take everything quite so personal, because it's very easy to let things hurt your feelings when you get into this industry. And just remember, it's kind of that same philosophy we were taught when we were kids. The world does not revolve around us. And although I would love to think that every person and their brother and mother would use me as a real estate agent, that is not always the case. So have some grace and some understanding when that does happen to you. And then the last one I want to share with you guys is you're going to make a mistake. It's going to happen. I'm sorry to tell you. I'm giving you the spoiler alert. You will make a mistake in this industry, and it's going to get you right here. It's going to get you, and it's not going to feel super great. And you're going to question, gosh, should I be in this industry? Did I make the right decision? Should I even be doing this? I mean, I made a mistake. Well, here's the thing. You're going to survive the mistake, and you're going to keep going on, and you're going to help more and more people sell and buy. And when you make a mistake, the reality is that's the fastest way to learn. It's the fastest way to understanding the industry better and to being able to help your future clients better and better and better. And that's all about failing forward. We sometimes think in our minds that there is success over here and there's failure over here, and it's like two totally different paths. It's not. Success is here, and you have failure and failure and failure and failure all the way to success. It's still the same path, not two different ones. So you're going to make mistakes, and it's okay. Remember those words. Hopefully I'm going to burn them in your brain. It's okay. You will survive. You will move on. Oh my gosh, what's that song? Yeah, you will survive. Yeah, there's some song like that. So remember those words in your brain. And then I want to leave you with this little bonus here. This isn't one of the ones I had written down, but something to just think of. When you get into this industry, sometimes it's easy to think that, like I said earlier, buyers and sellers are just going to call you immediately. You've gotten your license, and now your phone should start ringing, right? Everyone should know you are now a licensed real estate agent, and the phone should just start ringing. My friends, it's not quite that easy. You do have to get in. You do have to market yourself. You do have to make phone calls. You do have to go and meet people. You do have to attend events. You do have to put in income producing activities, holding open houses, right? Not every single person that you know is going to be ready to just buy or sell the second that you get your license. So it takes a little time to kind of get things up and running, and don't expect your phone to ring just day one. Now, if it does, oh my gosh, you have a little real estate angel sitting on your shoulder that just said, here you go. And what a huge blessing that will be. And I just don't want you guys to expect that that's what's going to happen. And if it does, well, then I'll be dancing right next to you and celebrating the huge win. I just want to set realistic expectations when you get into the industry that the income producing activities come before the phone calls and the ringing of your phone starts to happen. So I hope that these little tips and tricks help you guys to understand what it's like getting into the real estate industry, some of the bumps along the way that I had to learn the hard way. Hopefully you guys can learn from my mistakes, and I hope that you guys find a very successful career in real estate should you choose to accept the mission. See you on the next video.